out here down at the Oregon coast today. It is super windy down here, a little stormy. Right now no rain, which is nice. Came down to have a little fun with my Accsoon SeeMo. Hook it up to, I've got it hooked up to my C70 here, and got the Accsoon Cine 2S Pro, and we're going to send it to my iPad. That's the main reason I bought this thing, was to see if I could have it as an external monitor offset, which I've got set in the back of my Suburban with this camera right now. And so we're going to get a little test and then get back in the car where it's not so windy. Had my drone up and about crashed that thing because it's 40-mile-an-hour winds down here. But we're going to give this thing a look-see and see if it works, test it out, and yeah, let's get it hooked up and get shooting. All right, so the C70 is all set up. Got it out here, right there, sending the signal back to my rough setup in here in the back of the car. We've got the SeeMo right here, the Cine 2S Pro hooked up and coming in perfectly to my iPad, my iPad Pro. So this is working out awesome. But we're gonna go shoot a little footage, and have my wife over there. She's gonna do, she'll hold this on the iPad while I go shoot some shots. Hold this on the iPad. Just kind of you can see what it's seeing, just so it sees kind of this. Yeah, there you go, get in there. There we go, so you want to be able to see that and that. There we go. I'm just gonna go grab it. So the whole setup here worked really good. It's not showing anything right now just because the screen's all black, but this is exactly what I wanted it to do, and it's working perfect for that. And now we'll get back to the studio and mess around with it a little bit more. Very run and gun setup here, just first try out of the box with this thing. So far I'm very happy. But now I want to see if it works on my iPad mini and then the phone. I don't think I'd ever use it with my phone, but it would be nice to know that it does work on the phone as well, in kind of a situation where I don't have one of my other monitors with me. But for having this guy right here as someone could sit in the car while out here in the 45-mile-an-hour wind and see what I'm getting is exactly what I wanted this to do. And I didn't have to go buy another monitor because I already had this nice iPad Pro. So the price for this thing, good. So we'll get back to the studio and mess around a little bit more. Back from the beach, working with the Accsoon SeeMo HDMI video capture adapter, and playing around with it at the beach. It was a lot of fun. Man, the wind was really howling, and I'm just glad I made it back with my drone too. That thing actually worked really well in the high wind, but I almost lost it out over the ocean when I was trying to get a really high ocean shot. And it kind of was blowing it all around, but it did really good. But anyway, besides that, back to this. So with this little adapter, this is what you get in the box. You get this, the adapter itself, and it pops up here to put your phone in. It's got a little button right here to drop it down. And you've got a 5-volt out, which is USB-C, where you could power another device or something off of this NPF battery. You could be charging something else or running something else if you needed to. And then it's got a little cold chew up here that you can put another device on the top. And you've got your on and off button. HDMI in coming from the camera, that's the 5-volt out again, and the HDMI out to your camera. So that's pretty much it. And it does a little pop apart thing, so you can take the phone adapter part off, and they're going to make a cage that'll fit this 12-inch iPad, which I would like to get right now, but it's not available. I think they said February 22nd on their site, that the cage will have this, and then this little guy just mounts right back on the back of the cage. So that's really cool. And then you have your battery, which just mounts right on there like that. This will go right on the back of the cage, which would be great because the way I had it rigged up in the car isn't the best thing. But then I could mount all this stuff with 1/4-20s on that cage and then mount that on a stand, and that would work just superb. And then you get a couple cables. You get a USB-C to USB-C cable and a USB-C to Lightning cable, which goes to your phone. The USB-C to USB-C goes to this iPad. And then this my iPad mini, which I haven't checked yet, which is USB-C to Lightning, I believe, yeah, like the phone. And I believe that's what it was. We'll check that out real quick here. Yeah, USB-C to Lightning for that one. But anyway, it all kind of goes together really slick, mounts like that, and then you get those two cables, this adapter, you get the two Lightning USB cables, then you get this cool little adjustable mount to mount this on your hot shoe, and it's got a nice little pin on here and the 1/4-20 and these pins down here. So when you put this guy on here, it is not going to swivel and turn up here, so it's nice and locked on there. And then they did a really cool thing, and the way this spins to tighten onto your hot shoe, this lever is great. I really dig that, to make a really good contact on here. When you slide this guy on, then you've got some leverage to tighten this thing down. Is really good. I mean, I really like that. I wish more things would do that. It does stick out a bit, but that's no big deal. And then your phone just goes right up onto this guy, and so that's all mounted on there. Then you've got your HDMI out right here, and then you got to make sure you got the right cable. So you got your HDMI out. Oh, that cable on the floor. Then right into your phone like that, so that's all connected up. Then the other thing you got to make sure is you've got the right HDMI out cable for your camera. Like the R5 is different than the 5D Mark II, I believe. But I just got to remember you've got to have the right camera to come out of the camera to go to the adapter, and this is the right one for the R5. And then it just plugs right into the HDMI in, like so. Easier said than done. Nope, there we go. Had it backwards. So then that's in. Then you've got the little on-off switch right here. Turn it on. You got a little indicator light that it's on. Turn your phone on. Oh, and then you've got to download the Accsoon C app. So you download that, super easy to get that. And then turn your camera on. Allow that to see it. Oh, that's wild. Okay, quick tip there. Do not have your buttons being pressed down by the mount here, where you get that crazy reverb, which was wild. So that's just a quick tip to think about. A little too fast putting the phone on there the first time. So this thing, you can see, I think you can see, that it works great. I've got this set up to shoot in log right now, so you can see it's showing me the log versus what the camera shows right there. I'm seeing log. But this thing is loaded with features, that all these different options up here, It's kind of hard to see from the back, but you got grid you can put on. I've got it set for focus right now, which you can't really tell because it's not there. You can see the red right there. I mean, it's just loaded with all kinds of features up here. Anything you need, the histogram, well, everything, you know. Change it to black and white, and then just it's got so many features. So it's just great. I'm really happy with all the features. And as I said before, I didn't think I would ever use my phone on here, but I think having my phone with me all the time, this is just a great quick little thing, and you can record right to it and then output it onto Instagram, or I could email it to the client or whatever right away if they're not with me. And that's a great little feature right there. But in shooting live, I don't know if I'd shoot live, but you can never say never. I might try that someday. But it is just loaded with all kinds of features, and it records in 1080p onto your device, whatever device you've got up here right now. So just really good, really kind of amazed at how much features are in this app. So that in the app, you just download it super easy, like I said before. But the main thing I'm going to use this for is between my two different iPads for the client to view offset. And that was my main purpose for buying this thing. And I'm definitely going to buy the cage when that becomes available to deck this thing out, because that's going to work just perfect for me. I always have my iPads with me in a bag, so just I won't have to bring another monitor with me. I'll just have this that's always in my backpack or whatever I've got carrying my laptop and stuff. So, but let's hook up the iPad right now and see if that looks really good on the iPad mini. So we'll disconnect this guy real quick. Eject my phone off of there. Loosen this. Again, I really dig this mount for this thing. Get the camera out of here. And then I've got the iPad already hooked up to the Cine i2S Pro. So we've got that already connected to the main camera here. We'll plug this guy in. Power's on, and we're already running right there. So it's already got me, shooting me, capturing me, which is kind of cool. And with the Cine i2s on here, there's really not a lot of delay in this. It's really good. And the one thing I was a little bit worried about when I first started playing with this is that I didn't want the client to be able to touch all of these things up here, but if you just tap the screen, it all goes away. So it's, as long as they're not touching the screen too much while you're shooting and they're not doing something like this, well, actually that was okay. But all you gotta do is tap it and they come back and then it goes away again. So that's the way I'm gonna let them see it, is just like that. So it's not seeing all the different things they can adjust and try to adjust or whatever, which it's only gonna affect this anyway, which as long as they don't hit the record button, we'll be okay. But this is ideal for what I was looking for, because I could use this in a situation where I can't get behind the camera to view or whatever. So this would be great where I could still reach to start the record button on the camera, but where you can't be behind it or whatever. This is really a good device, especially if you're shooting in some really tight areas. If you're in a gym or a house where you got to put the the camera right back in a corner or something, and then you can just have this in your hand, view it, and away you go. Although to do it like this, you do need to have one of these senders, something set up like that, so you're sending the signal to it. But, and again, if I get a cage for this guy, that's going to be just ideal setup for me to get a cage for that. And once I've got that, I'm going to be totally dialed in with this system. But I totally would recommend getting this guy. I mean, I think it was 139 bucks, I think, 140. I'll put a link to it in the description below. I wasn't paid to talk about this thing. I just saw it and thought this is just exactly what I needed. And so I went out and bought it, and a really good device. So I highly recommend it. And so far what I've shot with it and used it, it's worked seamless. It's been super simple too. That's what, quick and easy. You know, you just hook it up and you're good to go. All right, so that's it. Till next time, I'm out.